Good morning, good morning. I am Chicago Puffs, but everyone calls me Gibby. Today we're going to be talking about kit bashes. Kit bashes are probably one of the more integral parts of the Warhammer 40k community and hobby. I even have my own kind of kit bash army. I got me a Tech Marine, I got me some Terminators, and I got me some Jump Pack Intercessors. Now, Gibby, I hear you thinking, why don't you have a Captain with a Jump Pack to guide your Jump Pack Intercessors in battle? Well, that's a thing. I do. Behold! Now, yes, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I definitely could have done a hell of a lot better with this kit bash. It really just is a manipulus with a jump pack strapped to its back, and it really doesn't read as a Captain with a Jump Pack. But trust me when I say Reddit let me fucking know. Now, honestly, I don't give a fuck what Reddit thinks, but they did help me realize that I really should have done better, and I really could have done better. And that's the whole point of this video, is for me to kit bash not only another Captain with a Jump Pack to lead my Jump Pack Intercessors, but to also create the chapter master for my custom homebrew army that I'm going to be using. Now, as I'm trying to show kind of like here with my intercessor, is I'm trying to do more than just simple head swaps. I'm trying to make it a very unique thing. So kind of getting started with it, I first wanted to show and express that I can go band for fucking band. So as I kind of showed a bit in the video, if you paused in between the frames, this kit bash is mainly going to be with 4 parts. It's going to be a Tech Priest Manipulus, a Tech Marine, an Iron Father Pharaohs, and a Captain with a Jump Pack. Obviously, because I'm trying to make a Captain with a Jump Pack. But, so that's what I'm going to be doing with this army. It's a whole kit bash army. Basically, the story behind it, I was at my local game store, and I saw an AdMech Combat Patrol, and I think I saw a Dark Angels Combat Patrol, and they all kind of had the same model types, I guess. There was a Cerberus Raiders, and then there was the... What are the mugs? The Sternguard Veterans?
I am very disappointed.
Not Sternguard Veterans. They're like the Blade Guard or whatever. I have about 1,000 points, and I think this puts it just at 1,000 points, but... Or I think it's like 965 or something. So I should be able to run it with this. Obviously, the balancing might be a bit off. But when it comes to kit bashes, it's an entirely kit bashed army. My first kit bashes of it were just my intercessors. They literally were just a head swap, and I took the pauldrons off, and I put some green stuff to give them... Initially, the green stuff was meant to put on like that AdMech like cloth, like the dress robes that they like to do. But afterwards, I kind of decided I like it better as it just kind of being a like a mark from Destiny 2. Like if you play Destiny 2, the Titan marks, kind of meant to kind of be like that, and just kind of some cloth as well. A lot of people didn't really like the fact that I took the pauldrons off, and that's fair. It makes them look different, which is the whole point. It's a Space Marine custom chapter, and they're meant to look different. So I took the pauldrons off and worked with like that weird underside of the pauldrons. Because if I didn't, honestly, it would just be a head swap, and I really wasn't happy with that. So I went just a little bit deeper with it. I am really happy. I don't think there's a kit bash that I'm not really happy with, except for obviously the jump pack or Captain with the Jump Pack. A lot of these kit bashes, I'm really happy. I feel like they do tell that story that I'm trying to tell, where as you go more and more into this chapter, you find more augmented soldiers. So, for instance, my Terminator squad, some of them are like 50-50 with, I think it's like the Therax cohort. They're like a 50-50 with that from 30k, and Terminators. So, they kind of have this weird robot. Some of them are like more or less just robots, and then the others are kind of akin to, once again, a 50-50 with a Terminator. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie with you. This whole section, I was just been yapping about my kit bashes the whole time and how I was like really happy with them. So I thought that was really boring, so I'm just gonna skip past it, and we're just gonna basically talk about the lore. So yeah, you're welcome. I guess we can kind of go into the lore. So the whole point of this army, I call it the Elegy Cybernetica. It's a lot of big words. It's a cybernetics. It's a naming convention from the AdMech, right? The whole lore is that these are lamenters. I think I don't remember which company I chose. I think I just chose a number. Um, it's a lamenter's third company, I believe. That's what I chose. It's the lamenter's third company, and they were fighting off the Tyranids, and they were ultimately just left behind by the main force. They thought that they were left. They thought that they had died, so they retreated as much as they could, and the AdMech force there, the cohort that was with the Lamenter's third company, were ultimately abandoned, and they realized that if they wanted to survive, they would really have to combine everything. So, this chapter is a mix of AdMech and Space Marines, to the point that, well, you know what, I'll just explain the lore this way. So they were abandoned, and with the luck of the Lamenters, the planet that they were just so happened to be abandoned on was a Necron tomb world. With this fact that they were fighting on both sides, a war on both sides, the AdMech decided, okay, well, we're going to need to combine our forces, and not only our forces, our technology. And the AdMech, of course, tried to put a bit of their fingers into that pie as much as they could, to control the Astartes that they were fighting with. The Astartes were really ambushed and almost destroyed, and the AdMech kind of saved them, kind of being the whole, hey, just letting you know, we did save your life, by the way, so, you do with that what you will, like that type of thing. And with that, they were able to augment, and they were given permission by the Adeptus. Sorry, the Adept. Holy shit. They were given permission by the Space Marines to make augmentations. One, to more easier fight the Necrons, but also to more easier fight the Terminids. Terminids. That's crazy. Tyranids. Because obviously the Tyranids want to eat everything, but it's not that they can't eat metal, they would prefer not to eat metal, right? So with that, the third company was almost destroyed, but the AdMech decided to use some not above board technologies, aka they stole some Necron tech, implanted it into the Space Marines, in just small amounts, really just to kind of activate things like reanimation protocols and to help in that regard. And the first one that was saved, which I used ChatGPT to make the name up, Orpheus Kalion. The first revived of the Elegy Cybernetica, and the leader of the Hive Mind. I did try to go more into machines with this, so naturally machines have they're not a hive mind, but it's like a centralized computer type intelligence type thing, right? So what I decided to do was that, one, because of how like Necron technology works, where like the lower drones, they're just kind of slaves, and they're mindless drones. But as you get more and more like up in the ranks, you have more say, and you're obviously, when you're like an overlord, you have more autonomy, right? And I kind of tried to show that here, but it would be more as you're more and more augmented, you are more stuck in this kind of hive mind. So Orpheus Kalon, being the first revived, was kind of the overlord of this, what's it called, chapter. The newer guys, maybe that are introduced into this chapter, they get minor augments, and they have like a little bit of a voice in the back of their head with the hive mind, or centralized mind. And obviously, as you get more and more augmented, like my centurions, they are more or less just guided by the hive mind at this point. They're all a part of it, and they're all just a kind of a centralized intelligence. Obviously, lore wise, I wanted to make it that it was kind of like the Geth from Mass Effect. If you've played that, the more and more Geth are around, the more coordinated they become because they're a centralized intelligence as well. That's kind of like split amongst all these different things. So once again, Orpheus Kalion, he's the leader of this. He's kind of more of the first voice in this hive mind. And as you get more and more augmented, the more entranced into it you become. And obviously, the newer guys, they're unaware, but they're still kind of, they're not necessarily scared. They're just kind of, I guess, intrigued maybe into getting more and more augmented, to the point that um, that like if there was like a sermon or something, or maybe like a speech that Orpheus Kalion was guiding or was driving, that he could unintentionally speak through like one of the more augmented soldiers in his army, like his centurions, or maybe one of the terminators. I think I said this earlier, but obviously the sergeants in each squad have more of a say in how the I said this earlier, I believe, but the sergeants do have more of a say in the hive mind. They have maybe a louder voice, but they are still ultimately in the hive mind, so they're still kind of unintentionally controlled by Orpheus Kalion. I also still kind of wanted to put the lamenters into this. Obviously, I put checkerboard patterns. I did redo some, or like make a new chapter symbol, with it being the 50-50 heart. One of them, one of the is the red heart from the lamenters, and the other being a robotic heart with a cog obviously surrounding all of it. I am kind of happy with how that design came out. Um, Pretty happy with how that came out, actually. Obviously, I still put in um, checkerboards where I can. I also put in the new design where it's 3 bars. One's a short black bar. There's a white bar in the middle, and a long bar on the left. That design was just made from me fucking up the checkerboard pattern and not wanting to restart. And I decided I think that still looks pretty cool, so I kind of went with that. Um, but yeah, so when it comes to the lamenters, obviously it's meant to be all sad and stuff still. So when they kind of join into the hive mind, they are still twinged with that sorrow, that honestly that combined sorrow that all of them feel as being in this hive mind. But that's kind of just more of the edgier lamenters focus onto it. At the end of this, I am still really happy with how my chapter master came out. He very much looks a lot more like a captain with a jump pack, someone who can lead an army. On top of that, I am just really happy with just how kind of short it was. I still need to paint him. There are some parts that I could have done a lot better with when I was slicing things up. Some things got a little bit more cut than needed to. A lot of green stuff got a lot of places that it didn't need to. Same with glue. But nonetheless, I am still just very happy with how he came out. This definitely reads a lot more like a captain with a jump pack than just a manipulus with a jump pack. But yeah, if you did like this content, please hit that like button, subscribe if you want. If this is a pretty good video, kind of like in the algorithm, or not, just if it is well received, I will do more stuff like this. And that's just kind of how you can show your support for this type of content. I'd love to do more content like this where I'm just kit bashing, kind of talking over it. It will be a little bit more complicated as time goes on because I will need to, like, for instance, if I do another kit bash of another like squad, it would probably take a little bit more time. But I would still love to do it because I have a lot of fun doing it. And I do also like making videos. So, once again, if you do like this video, please hit that like button and I'll keep doing more of it. With that, that's the end of everything I got. I hope you have a good night and I hope to see you next time. See you.